Hey lifers, welcome and welcome back to my channel, Get Your Life. Today we have a revocation hearing. This is a premiere, so I hope you all are joining me in the chat. And if you're watching the replay, feel free to still go ahead and comment down below. Also, don't forget to subscribe to my channel and hit the like button. Let's take a listen.
All right, good morning. The Committee on Parole is reconvening at 9:16 a.m. on June 6, 2024, and we are at St. Tammany Parish Jail. Let me ask the officer to please introduce himself for the record.
Corporal Jonathan Lott.
Thank you, Corporal Lott, for accommodating us today. We have before us Mrs. Patrick. Is that you?
Yes, ma'am.
Introduce yourself. Tell us your name and DOC.
My name is Patrick Drawdy, DOC number 561293.
Sorry, that's what I have. My name is Cheryl Renatza, and seated to my left is Mrs. Stapleton. To my right is Mrs. Ledoux. We're here for a revocation decision this morning. We're going to put a form up on the page, a parole revocation questionnaire, and I need to ask you to verify if that's your signature on that page. You see that? Is that your signature at the bottom, dated March 4th?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Mr. Drawdy, based on the information in that questionnaire, your responses to those answers, you're not eligible for us to appoint a lawyer for you today. Is that your understanding?
Yes, ma'am.
So you're ready to proceed with the revocation proceeding?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I'm going to read the allegations against you, after which you'll enter a plea of guilty or not guilty. Then we'll have a discussion about your plea. So you're accused of violating your parole conditions, specifically number 3, and it states on or about January 27, 2024, you absconded supervision in that you moved without permission from your approved residence. The whereabouts were unknown until you were located on January 30th, 2024, residing at 33 Holly Crest Drive in Covington. How do you plead to violating condition number 3?
I plead not guilty.
Okay, we'll talk about it in a minute. So not guilty. You're going to make a statement?
Uh,
Well, not yet. I'm
Yeah,
asking.
wait.
So your option is guilty with a statement, not guilty with a statement, or not guilty with a statement.
I'll just plead not guilty and I'll wait till we discuss it.
Okay. Then there's condition number 4, and it states on or about January 26, 2024, you engaged in criminal activity associated with people known to be engaged in criminal activity and failed to refrain from the illegal use of drugs or alcohol, as evidenced by your admission on January 26, 2024, to obtaining and ingesting methamphetamines and marijuana. The ingested illegal narcotics caused you to overdose on the morning of January 26, 2024, and were found unresponsive on the floor of your bedroom by your roommate. You had to be given CPR and then administered 2 milligrams of Narcan by Medical 31 of the St. Tammany Fire Protection District 3 EMS to be revived. How do you plead to violating condition number 4?
I plead guilty to that.
Okay. Then there is condition number 7. You failed to truthfully and promptly answer all questions directed to you by your parole officer on January 30th, 2024, after being residing at the 33 Holly Crest Drive, Covington, Louisiana. You were asked where you were staying from January 26th until January 30th, 24. You stated you had been staying at your approved address, 60440 Highway 434 in Lacombe, which was verified to be a lie by both your roommate and your landlord. You further stated that your roommate let you into the residence after returning from the hospital, but was discovered you climbed into the residence via an open window. So how do you plead to violating condition number 7?
I'm not guilty.
Okay, not guilty. Condition number 9. By absconding good time supervision, you failed to allow the agent from the Covington District of the Probation and Parole Office to visit you at your residence or place of employment at any time. How do you plead to violating number 9?
I'm not guilty.
Last is condition number 10. You have failed to make any payments to your supervision fees and are currently $126 in arrears on said fees. How do you plead to violating number 10?
I'm not guilty of that either, ma'am.
Okay. Also joining us is your parole officer, Mr. Steve Early. We're going to call on him for his comments once we complete our interview with you. Your case has been assigned to Mrs. Stapleton. Would you answer questions?
Good morning, Mr. Drawdy.
Ma'am.
We're here about your revocation. You said on the first one that you were not guilty with a statement that your whereabouts were known for those 3 days that you're parole officer. Can you explain that?
Okay, man, this like right here in number 4, it states on the 26th is whenever everything took place.
Yep.
So in number 3, it says on or about the 27th. I was scouted. The 27th was a Saturday. I have 3 business days to notify any change of residence, which I did on that Monday. Everything happened on a Friday. So they're saying that they didn't know where I was at over the weekend. Well, there's no way for me to the probation and parole office is closed on the weekend. I don't have any, and during this time I had a change of probation and parole officers. So at the time I didn't have Steve's number to be able to call him, but on that Monday I did call to notify of a change of address like I was supposed to. And I'm supposed to be allotted 3 business days, which let's see, Monday would be the first business day. That would be the 29th. And then on the 30th, they was arrested me on the second business day. So I was never given a full 3 business days to notify anybody of my change of address. I was arrested on a Tuesday. I was supposed to be given Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. I did. I called and notified on that Monday.
Okay, so I hear what you're saying, and I see what the officer wrote, and he's gonna respond to that directly, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
He'll be able to do that better than I can. But then we have the 26th. We come to the 26th, and that's where you were, and you pled guilty to criminal activity. You bought drugs, you overdosed on drugs, and you were unresponsive, and CPR was having to give it to you.
Yes, ma'am.
So that was a violation.
Yes, ma'am. I am guilty of that. I was struck. I had relapsed. But I don't see why I wasn't given a chance to go to rehab or get some kind of help.
Well, but
Instead,
you're not supposed to engage in illegal activity. I mean, it's grace that you're that you're on probation. And while you're on probation, you know about the rules and you're supposed to follow them. So it's not that it's okay, now let's go do this for you. It's that you're not supposed to do it to begin with. So
I was doing fine. I did have a relapse, ma'am. It's not like I wouldn't have accepted help if it would have been offered to me.
well, hopefully that help's gonna come to you
Yes,
in
ma'am.
another setting. Okay, so it was your roommate that said that you actually weren't at the residence where you said you were. Your roommate said no, that was a lie. You weren't there. And that's condition number 7. So you weren't truthful. Is that a lie? Was your roommate lying on you?
Yes, ma'am. That is a lie. My roommate just going along with whatever my landlord told him to do. I was in and out of the house all weekend. My landlord, after I overdosed on the fentanyl, before I went to the hospital, my landlord took my keys. I was never served an eviction notice. I was still on the lease. I was in and out of the house all weekend. I was back and forth between there and my friend Steve's house. My roommate was giving me problems getting in the residence because he said that he was instructed by my landlord. But according to Louisiana law, state law says that I'm actually, if I'm not served an eviction notice, I'm still technically living at the residence. But I was having issues getting in and out because I don't have a key. He was having to let me in and out. So I just thought it would have been better for things before, to blow over. I was going to stay with a friend over the
So you
weekend.
really weren't there.
Huh? I
You
was,
weren't there because he took your keys. And you know what is funny about all of this? That you know the law so well when you think it's in your favor, but you don't know the law when it's gonna go the opposite direction.
ma'am, I'm not trying to twist the law. I was in and out of the house all weekend. They're trying to make an example out of me because they had fentanyl overdoses and deaths at my landlord's residence prior. They made a statement the week prior they was going to make an example out of somebody.
Okay,
I'm not trying to, I admitted to what I actually did.
okay, let me ask you this one. Okay, so number 9 and number 10. That it says that they are supposed to be allowed to visit your resident and place of employment at any time. That's on the rules. So they can't do it if you're not really there or you're in and out, like you say, and you have no key to your place.
That was over the weekend.
Okay, all right, so you're gonna get to talk, your officer's gonna talk. And how about you failed to make payments for your
I got around the holidays.
Mhm.
Everywhere I went to apply for jobs, I was told that nobody was hiring until around the first of the year. Then I finally found a job at 5 Minute Oil Change in Covington around December.
Mhm.
All this happened in January. So I never got a full paycheck until the 26th, that Friday, when all this happens, when I finally got my first paycheck from 5 Minute Oil Change. They let me go because of an extensive background check, and I had to haggle with them to finally get my paycheck. So thanks to Catholic Charities, they were paying my rent, and they were also helping me with my registration fees. But as far as being able to pay my parole fees, I had no money. I was able to get money every now and again from doing some work for my friend's mom, like yard work, but it wasn't enough to pay any fees. It wasn't enough to do anything with. So it's not like, I mean, I wasn't planning on paying my fee. I literally just got my paycheck on the 26th, which I still have in my bank account.
Number 10, let me interrupt for just a second here. On number 10, Specialist Everly makes an excellent point. You didn't have the money for $126 in arrears, but you had money to buy the overdose narcotics.
I do have, I still have that paycheck right now.
Free. They gave you the narcotics for free, or did you have to buy them?
I didn't buy those.
Okay, you got those for free. All right, well, I'm finished with my questions.
Any questions? All right, Mr. Early, we'd like to hear from you, sir. No, you're on mute.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir.
All right. Good morning, ladies.
Good morning.
If you look at the back of your the packet, there's a letter from Nicholas Transient, the one that revived him that morning, gave him CPR. He found the subject, Mr. Drawdy, at about roughly 9 o'clock. He found him unresponsive in his room, throwing up. He gave him CPR. They called 911. They showed up. Mr. Drawdy was very upset because the police had been called. He refused to go to the hospital. I was in court at that morning. I went out to the house right after court, and I told him, you either go to the treatment or, sorry. I said, you either go to the hospital and get treatment, or you're going to go to jail. He elected to go to that Friday afternoon. He went to the Slidell Memorial Hospital. After they came out, they had to give him 2 doses of Narcan that morning. It was methamphetamine laced with fentanyl, we do believe. I followed the ambulance, the med ambulance, to the Slidell Memorial. We got him in there that night. He broke back into the house. A black male brought him out to the house. This is people talking at the house. Brought him back to the house. When I saw him that day, he voluntarily gave his keys up to the landlord. We were talking. He was still throwing up a black mucus while we're trying to do a drug screen on him. He admitted to using methamphetamine with fentanyl. We followed the ambulance, and then that night he disappeared. I was calling every day trying to find out if he was back. He never came back. He did come back. He climbed in Nicholas Transient's window, and he knocked some stuff out the window and marked the wall up when he got back in. So that's why he didn't have keys. He gave them to the landlord willingly.
Why would I give my keys away
No,
willingly?
no, Mr. Drawdy, this is Mr. Early's time to speak.
That's fine.
Anyway, we didn't know where he's at. I got a phone call. I said, is he back? I didn't know where he was at. I got a call from the sex offender registry in St. Tammany Parish that said he's at 33. Right then he was at 33 Hollycrest. We went there, we found him there, we arrested him, put him in jail. He was very angry when we arrested him. He said he had 3 days, not with probation and parole. You have to tell me where you go, when you go. So we found him at that residence. That was Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday night, Monday night. So Tuesday was 5 days. So for 96 hours, he was missing. I was calling hourly, daily, trying to find out where he was at. I was looking through his phone when we found him that afternoon on the 26th. He was very angry. He was cursing at Nicholas for calling police to come out to the residence. He was unresponsive. I told him, I said that you're lucky you're alive. Had he not done that and called 911, you'd be dead. We found him residing in a different residence where he shouldn't have been. Then he hasn't paid fees. I don't know what more to say.
I think that's plenty. We appreciate your input. Thank you so much. Mr. Drawdy, before we vote, is there a brief statement you'd like to make?
Yes, ma'am. Regardless of how I feel or how my parole officer had felt it's basically what this boils down to. It's basically his word against mine. What we need to look at is the facts.
And
Okay.
that's what we do, sir. We have all kind of documentation and facts in our record that we have.
This Nicholas Trahan, where he's not even here anymore, because while I was locked up, this guy tries to.
That's irrelevant. That's irrelevant. We have the reports from medical people who gave you attention, who gave you medical assistance. We have
That's
all those
fine.
reports,
I
sir.
admit that's
Okay.
fine. But
No,
what does it have to
that's
do
the
with
issue.
my revocation?
We are prepared to vote. Mrs. Stapleton.
Sir, I revoke you on rule violations 3, 4, 7, 9, and 10.
Mrs. Ledoux.
Based on the preponderance of evidence, my vote is to revoke your parole. Sir, you're a third felony offender and you know the rules.
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Drawdy, you pled guilty to violating condition number 4 based on the information contained in the record, the evidence presented by Mr. Early. I also find you guilty of conditions 3, 7, 9, and 10. So based on your guilty plea and the evidence in the record, I also vote to revoke your parole. Good luck to you, sir. Today your parole's been revoked. Thank you, Mr. Early, for spending some time with us this morning. We do appreciate it.
You were trying to get on.
All right, thank you.
That concludes business at St. Tammany. We're going to sign off at 9:34. Thank you.
Y'all have a good day.
I hope you all enjoyed this video. Be sure to comment down below. Let's go ahead and get a conversation started. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel and turn on your notifications so that you don't miss the next one. Thanks for watching.